Hello everybody, it's me, Salty, from Hypixel Studios, and in today's video, I'm going to be showing you how you can make your very own simple physics engine in Scratch. So I really do hope you enjoyed today's video, because if you do, consider leaving a like and subscribe, so you'll never miss out on future content like this on my channel. Anyways, let's get right into it. So, firstly, you want to make 4 variables. The first one called direction, the second one called slope, the third one called x velocity, and the fourth one called y velocity. Now, you also want to make 2 more blocks. The first one should be called physics, and it can have 2 number or text inputs. And in the first input, you can name it friction, and the second input, you can name it stiffness. Now you can actually click this run screen without refresh button because you actually want this block to run without actually refreshing it. So now we can click OK and create another block. Now this block is going to be called rotation, and again it's going to be run screen without refresh. Now let's get started coding. So what you want to do is when green flag is clicked, you want to go to a position on the screen and set all your variables except the slope variable to 0. Next, in a forever loop, you want to call this physics block. And in our first input, we can say 0.95, and in the second input, we can say 0.45. Now, when our physics block is called, we want to check an if statement. And in this if statement, we want to say if not touching ground, then we can change our y velocity by -1. Now we want to change y by y velocity, and if touching ground, then repeat the absolute of ceiling of y velocity, change y by abs of y velocity divided by y velocity times -1. Now we want to set y velocity to 1. Now we want to change our x by our x velocity, and we want to check if touching ground, then we can actually set our slope to 0. Now we want to repeat until our slope is equal to -8 or not touching the ground, and we want to just change the slope by -1 and change our y by 1. Now if our slope is equal to -8, then we can just change our y by slope and repeat the absolute of ceiling of x velocity. We can change x by the absolute of x velocity divided by x velocity times -1, like we did up here. Now we can just set our x velocity to 0. Now this is basically it for this script, but at the end we just want to turn the direction of degrees. And we can set our direction variable to direction multiplied by stiffness. So the variable that we had inbuilt into the block, we can use that and multiply it by the direction. Now we want to set our x velocity to x velocity multiplied by friction, and then we just want to call our last block called rotation. Now our rotation script is actually quite simple. It's just change x by 10, then if not touching ground, then we can change our direction by 3 and change x velocity by 0.3. Then we can change x by -20. If not touching ground, then we can change direction by -3, then change x velocity by -0.3. So basically the opposite of what we did up here. Then what we can do is change x by 10, turn 2 degrees, and then call if not touching ground. Then we can change direction by 1, then turn back 4 degrees. If not touching ground, then we can change direction by -1 and then turn towards the right 2 degrees and then turn again towards the right by 10 degrees. And then if not touching ground, we can change our direction by 2, then turn to the left 20 degrees, and if not touching ground again, then we can change our direction by -2, and lastly, we can turn 10 degrees. Now this is actually our full script for our working physics. So now if we just click save and go into full screen and play our game, as you can see, the physics works great. And it actually works like a real life physics. So we can actually move our block around, and as you can see, it falls back down, and you can actually have this in your very own game if you use these scripts. So I want to thank you all so much for watching. If you did enjoy the video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe so you'll never miss out on future content like this on my channel. And yeah, we'll see you in the next one. Bye!